Hi, this is Jen Buehler with DIY Anyone. I am so thrilled to be participating today in a challenge hosted by Elena Jenkins called the Inspired Fall Challenge, and is co-hosted by Fayth Chik 777, and her name is Linda. So my inspiration is this lampshade right here, a Luftmassa from IKEA, and you can see it was a $19 shade and it was for $4. So the first part of where all this video went, I have no idea, but I took black felt. Right there, I'm showing you the inside of the Deco mesh roll. So I had black felt, I cut the face, eyes, nose, and mouth, glued it on with hot glue. And then I took 2 rolls of plain orange Deco mesh, rolled it up, just kind of curled it as I put it inside, and then I used a string of orange lights, and that was all from Dollar Tree. So $1 for the lights, $2 for the Deco mesh, and the felt was part of the roll I already had. And then this nautical rope is what I'm going to use for the stem. So what I'm trying to do is figure out and measure here how much I'm going to use on the stem. And I make some mistakes here, and I'll point those out so you don't do the same thing. So I want that stem to go down inside about halfway. And what I did is I glued that rope all the way on the entire cardboard roll, and I didn't need to do that. But anyway, I'm measuring it out here, figuring it out, and I need 8 to 10 pieces of this nautical rope, which turns out to be about 1.5 packages of it. So quickly, we're cutting all that rope, and then I'm holding it on there. All right, so then we're going to glue it. Finishing cutting. All right, so we have our pieces of rope. And so I'm putting that rope above the top of the cardboard roll so that I can kind of curve that rope and glue it together to make a stem. And I end up actually cutting away part of the top of the roll to make it more angled, to make that curve. And I'm sorry, that bit of footage also went poof into the night, and I apologize. I don't have any idea what happened with that. I've got to do some troubleshooting for that. So we'll glue those pieces of the nautical rope around the cardboard tube. And then what I figure out is, oh, I shouldn't have glued those pieces all the way down because the stem ends up being 8,000 feet tall. And that's not what we need. The proportion is all wrong for this pumpkin. So we're gluing the pieces on, finishing that up. Oh, here's where I got the second roll. I apologize. Yeah, so that was the point to show you that I did need the 2 rolls of the nautical rope. And didn't use the whole thing, but I would say 1.5 or so. All right, so we're gluing that on there. And 1 more can go in there to make it totally filled. All right, so here we go. 4, 5, 6. I think it's 8 pieces is what I end up using. Like I say, it's 8 to 10. Depends on how thick you glue it. So then I'm curving the top, and I've got the idea to curve that top of the stem. And Justin Ray, his last name's W-R-A-Y, he does a lot of boho stuff. He's a king of boho, and he did a stem using some thinner string on a pumpkin. So I thought, well, let's try it with this. The scale required a thicker rope type thing. And then I'm holding it up, looking at it, and realizing, oh, rat. So this is where I'm pulling back that rope to allow the center cardboard tube to go into the center of the lantern by about halfway. And so I'm ripping that back, and you can see the mess that it makes because it really does tear up that cardboard. It's not very, heavy-duty cardboard. It is only holding Deco mesh, after all. So then I'm going to continue to pull that string back, that rope back, until that stem is at the proper height. So I glue it a little bit. I'm going to take a peek, see if I like it. Put it on in there. And no, it's not 8,000 feet tall, but it's still 6,000 feet tall. So I'm going to have to pull some more of that nautical rope away from the center because it just doesn't look right. When I look at it, you can see, and you'll be able to see that when you make that yourself. And let me know if you make one of these, how you do it and what you use, because it really is cute. And at night, having it lit up, it is adorable, and something that I thought was kind of unusual. And I think it turns out really well. And if you have not joined my YouTube channel yet as part of the family, please do. I'd love you to be part of the Buehler Anyone channel. Now, here we are. I'm unbraiding all that rope to basically make it where that unbraided rope will then conceal that circle where the top of the lampshade is. I was just cutting away a piece of the glue that was in the way. So unbraiding, and just unbraid that to where it looks good to you. I end up undoing quite a bit of it. You'll see a shot here at the end. And then also it ends up getting a haircut. And then the little braid pieces get all over everything from when you undo that rope. It makes a mess. But all you've got to do is just use some Scotch tape and that on the felt of the eyes, and then that will pull those particles from the rope. That'll pull that right off, so it's not a mess. Now, would I have done it differently and done the face after the fact? No, actually, I'm glad I did it that way. So you can see the whole thing. That's about the height of the stem, and then I'm going to curve that top. So then somehow, I don't know what happened, but so you can see I'm gluing it here, and then I'm going to glue the hair down too and then trim it back. So I don't leave him with bangs like that, but I start curling, just gluing it in sections. And as always, watch that you don't burn yourself. You can see in the center of my mat, this mat that I have on my table actually was from IKEA as well. It's a shelf liner. And it was great until I melted a hole in it, which you can kind of see in the middle of my screen there. So watch that old glue gun. I set it down there. And then that little spatula thing is from Dollar Tree. It's a silicone little spatula. I guess, I need to be using my makeup using a spatula style and slathering it on, but I haven't quite turned to that yet. And that does work well, though, to help push that glue down, and then you don't burn yourself, is my point with mentioning that. So we'll pull this apart a little bit more and then cut it to where the hair makes sense, and then it turns into a cute little stem. Now at the top, again, I mentioned the top of the stem, what I did is I bent that to the side, and I glued one piece of rope to each at a time, just over as I curled it over, and then trimmed the rope so that it looked angled, like it was just cut from the vine. All right. And here we come to then Mr. Jack-o'-lantern is all trimmed, and I'm just taking, you can see all that mess of the rope, and just that tape just sucks all that right up. The good old Scotch tape trick. And you could probably just even use a lint roller if you wanted to too. But why this footage made it and all the other, I have no idea. I'm so sorry. Oh, learning all the time. Always learning. All right, so then you can see the top of that stem is still pretty ratty. So I do end up trimming that down as I glue that together. And so, more getting the lint off here is what we're messing with. Here we go, we'll get the nose too. Let's get that nose cleaned up. We don't want any rope boogies on you. And then the mouth. There's one section where I did put a piece of glue on the black felt, and you can kind of see it when you roll it up, but otherwise you really can't. All right, we're coming to the final shots here. And again, thank you to Elena and to Linda. And here it is with the lights on. And then we're going to turn off the lights. Oh, there's Penny. She had to stick her nose in there again. And there's our lights off. And I hope you enjoyed it. And please come see me again. Thanks. Bye.